Race fans, good evening and a very warm Elite Racing Network welcome to Appalachia's Thunder Valley. We're live from the infamous high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway for round 8 of the Infinity Graphic Designs Dev Series. With a twist, tonight we swap out the concrete surface for some of Tennessee's finest red clay, and with this being our one and only dirt race of the season, we might just see some new names and paint schemes at the front of the grid. And looking at the championship points here, it's very close battle with Caleb Kumer, Corey Abbott, Dylan Hivier, and Jimmy Hayden, but we'll see how that all plays out tonight. I'm Ken Rich here with Mc Intosh in the booth and Chris Wright on the cameras. You have your points on the screen there. And it is, 3 points from first down to fourth here, so extremely close race, and I'm sure that this race is going to throw a wrench into things just a little bit because, like we said, first and only dirt race of the season. Quickly approaching that chase, 3 events to go until we re-rack the top 14 for 5 races to decide the 2026 A champion. And as we can see, that fight is as close as we can get. Last week's action, we saw a doubleheader event at Nashville Fairgrounds and the Super Speedway, which were won by Dylan Slepian and Gavin Higgins, respectively. And we saw 7 cautions between those 2 races last week. I would not be at all surprised if we matched that total tonight. I've even heard some people say we were going to double that total. So, Ty, looking at Corey Abbott here, he was pretty good in practice just a few minutes ago. He was second in practice here. How are we looking for tonight's race?
I mean, I think it's a little different, obviously, with the way that the track starts out. Some of these guys that got into practice late are just now getting laps on the clean racetrack that we're going to start the race on. As you see, Corey Abbott's going to sit at P4. So overall, a pretty good starting spot for him. You see Noah Brown. He's going to be your pole sitter. I think it's going to be a little chaotic. I think the over-under was placed for 13.5 cautions tonight. So we'll have to see.
Absolutely, that is a big number here. Noah Brown with his first pole of the season. Interestingly enough, we've had 8 different pole sitters in the 8 races we've had there. He starts next to Paul. A bunch of letters. Michael Atchik, James Watson starts in P3. Corey Abbott P4. Dylan Javier 5th. Austin Abnett 6th. David Westergreen 7th. Ryan Borges 8th. Andrew Hardcastle 9th. Dominic Wright in 10th. Cale Pocock 11th. 12th is Jimmy Hayden, your 4th place in points there. Caleb Kumer, the points leader, he's in 13th. We'll see if that's a lucky number for him. Gavin Higgins, the other Gavin here in Elite, he starts 14th. Bryce Fody 15th. Pete Morales 16th. 17th is Jaden Racimus. 18th Eric Whitner. 19th Logan Key. 20th Frank Fody. 21st Dave Carpenter. 22nd Rashab Khosla. 23rd Jacob Adams. 24th, Shay Mitchell, and 25th is going to be Zachary Tyler. 26th, Nigel Stock, a new driver in the series. 27th is Samuel Malone. 28th, Blake Wise, another new guy in the series, started right next to the lone Englishman in the field. 29th, Mark Rabillis. 30th, Pierce Hausler. 31st, our very own Dave Huckleberry. 32nd, Harrison Talion. 33rd is Connor Thompson. And 34th and last on the field is going to be Josh Osborne in the 07. So 34 cars on this half-mile high-banked dirt oval for tonight. And, Ty, we see enough action here on the asphalt. I think we're going to see some fireworks on and off the racetrack tonight. And I've got to say that number 65, he's had a lot of bad luck this season. Noah Brown in that Redux Racing car. I would say if it's going to turn around for him, a dirt track is sure probably the place he's going to do it at.
Absolutely, and I think it's a wild card for everybody else, but it's something he's definitely had circled. We've seen him. If you happen to know him from other series that he runs in, he's pretty good on the dirt. So not surprising there. Paul Mikulicek, somebody who I have never seen run on dirt. So, seeing him second, not surprising knowing Paul. But, I mean, you look through the rest of the field, some guys who have been up front, some guys who haven't. It's a nice mix. I think tonight there's going to be a lot of 3 wide. Maybe even 4 wide if these guys get crazy enough. We know that on the asphalt, Bristol runs out of room quick, but these guys are going to have the whole entire racetrack to use here tonight.
Yep, and 2 pace laps to begin our event tonight. And if you're familiar with the ARCA cars, they do run 2 events on dirt races in the real world. Those 2 events are on mile flat tracks out in Illinois, DuQuoin and Springfield. Eventually, we're probably going to get those 2 on iRacing, but not today. Kind of somewhat, not really, somewhat like Eldora in the fact that it's a half-mile high bank. the 2 tracks race completely different here. So going to be expecting to see a lot of beating and banging here, a lot of sliding, a lot of tempers flaring. And it's sure to be a good one. But yeah, we're on our last pace lap here. I think that Noah Brown, he looks ready to go. I think, he's ready to get his season turned around just a little bit. And there's the pace car pulling off right there. Fields in the hands of that number 65. And here we go. Green flag out here at Bristol. Good start for everybody so far. Looks like nobody has lost it just yet. Top 8 cars are kind of in a little bit of a pack themselves, but we fan out into turns 1 and 2. A little bit of 3 wide action, but nobody running into each other just yet. Battle for second. James Watson around Paul Michaelachik. Now it's the battle for third with him and Javier. Javier on that inside line. We're looking a little bit further on back at the Andrew Hardcastle machine. That's around the 10th position there. So it's the action all over this racetrack, but surprisingly enough, Ty, no wrecks yet.
Yeah, I figured we would have just a little bit of it while these guys try to get into a rhythm. It seems like everybody's doing all right so far. You'll notice the bottom of the racetrack is going to be the most dominant to start with until that cushion kind of gets built up. When these guys run the bottom, it slings that dirt up to the top. It kind of works the top in. You see Logan Key putting that thing all the way to the wall. We do have a yellow now. Have to see who that is for. Dave Carpenter, Nigel Stock.
It's just those 2 right now. See, I think it is going to be Nigel here. Oh, Dave Carpenter was stopped for something. He might have had an issue there around the start-finish line. Yep, that's the issue. The number 48 was his issue and turned him around into the head-on the wall. That's Jacob Adams, so probably going to have to put the tally on that 48. We'll let race control make that decision, but it sure looks like he came down into the 71. That's going to be a ton of damage for Dave. And I don't think he has any steering on that race car anymore. I think he actually might have had to take a tow.
Yeah, that right front not planted on that 71 machine, so he's gonna have to put that Cheaty Chevrolet in pit road for a little bit. It didn't look like Josh or Jacob had got turned. It looked like he was kind of just loose. I don't think Shea touched him. We'll have to see if there was any from race control, but I don't think there was anything there. You will notice Cam and I are going to be a lot more talkative tonight. We have our good friend Carlos Acosta taking over race control for the next little bit half of the season, the back half. So there might be a moment where Cam or I for the next couple weeks are quiet. It'll probably be me this week, just trying to help Carlos get sorted. But nonetheless, we're getting things into a rhythm here at ERN.
Yep, great to hear that, and should have some more consistency and more discretion on race control as well. So we'll get to do our job. Race control does their job, and I think everybody will be happy here. But working lap 5 here. Lap 6 now. Noah Brown's led them all. He started on the pole. Has looked pretty good so far, but we are early on. And the cautions hopefully not going to be too much of an issue here. Should be relatively short, or not a track like Pocono or anything like that, where you can read a book in between cautions.
Curious to see here. I know that I talked about it, that obviously the line variant that we're seeing here, we're only 6 laps in, not many of those were under green. You can kind of see that darker groove kind of forming the slick spot right in the middle of the racetrack on the entry to 3 and 4 there. But Noah Brown on the top right now. The top's not really formed up just yet. I don't think it's going to be there until we get maybe a solid 10 or 15 more laps in on this run. Lights are out on the pace car. He's going to restart up top, so this is going to be interesting to see here. I know he had a really good jump there on the bottom into 1, obviously maybe just getting that jump over Paul Michaelachik, but going to be interesting now that he's got James Watson to his inside.
And an interesting note here, seeing if you look at the very top of the racetrack around the wall there, that darker patch of dirt there, that is the cushion. So that's actually kind of a softer dirt where you can kind of put your car up there, and the good dirt drivers can get that right rear up there and kind of use it as it's almost like a wall. It's not really a wall, but it's kind of like a wall. So I never figure out how to do it. I'm a pavement princess myself, but either way, it's fun watching these guys do it. But there's the pace truck off, and green flag once again. Pretty good start for everybody so far. Somebody back, middle on back, got a little bit sideways. We're on a dirt track. No harm, no foul. No ground with a pretty massive lead. It's about 3-4 car lengths over Corey Abbott right now. There's Dylan Beer on the bottom of what was a pretty wide situation there, right about where he started there, but a lot of action on right here around the 10th, 11th, 12th position. Cale Pocock, Fody, Jimmy Hayden. These guys are in a bit of a wad. They were about 4 wide for just a second, and they're going to have to figure that out because there's not that much room here. Fody almost in the wall. Oh, good. He's racing with the number 12, Dominic Wright. Oh, they're making some contact.
Oh.
Wright looks like he is in trouble. Not quite. He kept it under himself, but he did lose a position there. So he's going to be lost his momentum. He's going to have to now fight off that number 95 of Pete Morales.
Out front, battle for the lead. Corey Abbott jumped on that restart from the fourth on the outside lane, or second on the outside lane, followed Noah Brown. He's going to try to get him on the outside. The outside's worked its way in. Corey putting it all the way up there. Talked about it earlier. The good dirt guys that can get that right side settled into the cushion can make it work, and he's going to make it work for now around Noah Brown. See them working around the lap car of Nigel Stock. James Watson's trying to put pressure on Noah Brown as well here, but Corey Abbott driving away.
Yeah, looks like that outside line is the place to be right now. But as we say that, Corey Abbott goes down to the bottom, so he made his pass and decides to go right back down to that race line. We'll see what James Watson can do here. We know he's pretty competent on the dirt. Dylan Javier running right there through the field here. Looks like we have a pretty big mover in the... Well, our biggest mover might be the number 41 of Frank Fody.
Oh.
And there's Dominic Wright around. Turn number 2, it looks like. Here, that might have been due to the number 17 of Eric Whitner. And that was his bad. He got down an apron, which you can't really tell where it's at here, but it's all right. Dominic Wright is going to lose a lap here, letting the field by and be able to get it spun around and get going there in that Jimmy Hayden photography machine. Let's see what happened here on the replay. And right about what I believe Eric was right and said that was his bad. It just went way up the track and into the side of the 12. So unfortunate for him. Damaged. Really, if you Ty, if you can stay out of the wall too badly here, really beating and banging and even getting in the wall a little bit is really no problem. But you really don't want to get hit by like another car or something like that, because that will end your race, as we saw with Dave Carpenter.
Yeah, and it didn't seem too significant. He backed it into the wall, but it wasn't really too quick. Obviously, being on the dirt, you're not going that fast anyway. So one of the situations where Dom's thankful that the dirt was there to kind of slow him down, but maybe a little bit of left rear damage on that machine, but other than that, nothing too bad. As we see Harrison Talon, everybody around him, Rashad Kolsla. We got the 28 of, I believe that is Zachary Tyler also there. You see Shea Mitchell coming to get his lap back. What do we got?
I was incorrect. That's actually our biggest mover right there, Harrison Talion in number 8. He is up 11 positions. I had to think about my math there because commentary kind of takes that skill out of you. So up 11 positions, which is on a dirt track. That's pretty good in 16 laps. He's passed he's passed one car on average about every lap, or every 0.9 laps, or whatever that math checks out to be. But there's the second biggest one there, Josh Osborne. He's up in 9 positions. So Josh, one of our newer drivers in the series, has had his fair share of bad luck and some bad breaks, but we'll see if he can pull it together tonight. And what a better place to pull it together at Bristol Dirt. Really the track that's all about survival, all about making sure you can get this race car up until lap 100 to fight with. So Josh Osborne, really everybody here tonight going to be doing a lot of learning with these harder cars. They are very fun on the dirt. They have dirt tires and they have dirt setups, and like we said, they do run dirt tracks in real life, so it's not something that's just completely out of the water for these guys. But it is a new challenge nonetheless. But our restart here going to be Corey Abbott and Noah Brown. They swapped positions from the last restart. Corey Abbott now on that outside line, Noah Brown on the inside. We'll see how he fares down there. There we go. Good restart for the 21. I think 65, he got about as good of a restart as he could there. So we're going to be 1-2 here into turns 1 and 2. The battle is going to be for third. James Watson on that inside line. He is going to not be able to take a position just yet. We're a little bit further on back here. I believe we are now on board with number 3 of Logan Key behind Eric Whitner. So this is looking at about 17th on forward, and you can see a bunch of cars in front of you. Frank Fody, or excuse me, yeah, that is Frank Fody, and that was someone else. I believe I couldn't see the race car, but it might have been that number 22 of Hardcastle. They got into each other a little bit and able to keep going there.
looking at everybody out back, a lot of guys migrating to that top side a little bit more. You see the top 5 using most of it. You see this huge, just conglomerate of cars we've got there. Jaden Racimus, you see the 22, all the way back to the 48, and everybody else. They're kind of all over the place right now, just squabbling for this track position here, about a quarter of the way through the race. A lot of guys beating the outside wall down just a little bit. So that's something that we're gonna have to keep our eye on. There's gonna be some changing situations there as guys might get positioned. But right now, Corey Abbott trying to pull away from Noah Brown, but Noah's not letting him get away too far.
Yeah, what Noah's probably looking for here is you're probably going to see all these drivers, running this high side for the time being until that line gets a little bit worn out. Then Noah will be able to use the bottom a little bit more as these lines kind of even out a little bit. But right now, top side obviously a little bit quicker. Noah is not slower than the 21. He's right there on the back bumper of that Corey Abbott machine. And see if he can find a way around. It is hard to pass here because. Well, I mean, in dirt racing, you just have to really use the slide job. So here comes Noah Brown looking inside. I don't think he has the momentum to do anything just yet, but definitely showing some speed here, navigating that lap car. That was the
52 of Huckleberry.
The 52 of Huckleberry, yep. Staying well out of the way. Yeah, we're already starting to get in some heavy traffic here. That's for Billis. That's I believe the 30 of Connor Thompson as well, the 08 of Shea Mitchell. So yeah, what's going to be the challenge here, and I mean we see it even with the asphalt here. It is tough to get around these lap cars, and Noah Brown all the way to the inside line using those lap cars as a pick to try to get some track position on that 21. They're splitting the number 30 of Connor Thompson right now, and there's Pierce Hausler. We'll see what happens with that. They're kind of, these lap cars doing a pretty good job of holding their line. Oh, with Noah Brown almost sideways. He whipped the rear end right into that 61. And that number 46 right there, going to be a little bit slow off the corner. That's going to hold up Noah Brown just a little bit. Samuel Malone. So, yeah, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job of holding their line. Maybe holding their line in the middle of the racetrack, but they are holding their line nonetheless.
Somebody who's taken prime advantage of these lap cars. He's able to see what these two in front of him are doing and learn from it. Dylan Javier was not too far back, but it was a pretty good gap. But right now he's breathing all over the backside of these guys right now. And I think as they get even deeper into this lap traffic, if they're catching a pretty good group again, here in about 3 or 4 cars, it's going to get more chaotic for these guys. I mean, I thought we had a wreck right there. We were about 3 wide with a couple of them. So it's just, oh, we do have a wreck. Caleb McHuber, points leader.
The contact with his teammate too, Nabnett.
That's going to be contact that brings out a yellow. Here's Hausler got turned around there.
Well, yeah, the caution. 30 of Connor Thompson has gone around in turn 1. Turn 3. I think I am actually backwards on the track a little bit, but yeah, there's Pierce Hausler involved. We had a bunch of stuff going on there. About 2 wrecks that happened at the same time. One of them brought up caution, and that one with Caleb Humor. Not so much. Ooh, that 08 of Shea Mitchell. I think he might have gone low and slid back up into traffic just a little bit, and then they kept wrecking down the whole backstretch there. Big hit for Pierce Hausler. Big hit for Connor Thompson as well.
See one of those cars involved there. Dominic Wright was black flagged for a lane change, and that's insult to injury right there. Something that he probably didn't want to see, and I'm sure he also didn't want the damage on the front of that 12 machine, but nonetheless, he's unfortunately going to have it. While we're working this yellow here, what do you say we hit our first ad break of the night?
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bomarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Back here at Bristol Motor Speedway with some dirt on it, working our second caution of the night. And Corey Abbott, he is your leader, leading Noah Brown, James Watson, Dylan Javier, and Jimmy Hayden. He's a big mover up to the top 5, up it looks like 7 positions. He's bringing Gavin Higgins with them in 6th, Paul Michalachik in 7th, Ryan Borges in 8th. Excuse me, I forgot David Westergreen. He's the one actually in 7th. Sorry, David. Paul Michalachik is in 8th, Ryan Borges 9th, and Caleb Kumer struggling a little bit relatively to what we'd expect from him. He's been a top 3 contender every race up until this point, so maybe a little bit struggling on the dirt. You never know, but he definitely has about 65 more laps here to learn what these guys are doing around him. But Pace Truck is off there. Corey Abbott on the outside, he's your leader, and green flag out here again. Good restart on the outside line. That's where we're seeing all the leaders tonight. Run that clean line right there, about half a lane to a lane off the wall there. And that's where the speed is on the track right now. But here comes Noah Brown on the very bottom of the racetrack, trying to make something happen. Not going to be able to do it just now. Going to slide up and right behind that number 21. He's going to have to be careful not to let the 39 of James Watson get himself. That's a tight one there, but just doesn't have the room to make the pass here. But he's making that inside line work, and I think Ty, we might be seeing that inside line start to come in just a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of getting to that point where you see that darker groove in the middle that looks kind of slick and glazed over. That's going to force Corey Abbott and Noah Brown to kind of pick a lane here if they want to race side by side. One of them's got to go all the way to the top, or they can both take the top. It's either going to be way top or way bottom. There's not really a spot in the middle. There is when the rest of it slicks over, but right now, if you want the grip and you want that speed, you're going to have to put it either on the wall or on the bottom. And right now, they're both taking the bottom, and they're both riding the outside wall. Not quite getting to it, but they're close.
Yeah, I saw Noah Brown actually using the cushion there. Caution out once again. That'll be our, excuse me, I said second one, but this will be our 4th one, so I missed one there. But number 28 of, that's going to be Zachary Tyler there, and see what happened to him. He was racing with Dominic Wright here out of turn number 4, and just looks like, well, he lost it, and then back down into Connor Thompson, Samuel Malone involved, Mark Ravillis involved. Pierce Hausler wanted to be involved too, so he shot on in there and got into him, but I don't think too much damage for any of these cars. I think there was relatively light hits for everyone. 33
of Blake Wise was also stopped on that inside wall. I think that might have been a 50-50 split there on the caution. He's absolutely broke. He is crab walking down the back straightaway right now. He's completely broken. I don't think there's any fix in that 33 machine, but have to see why he was stuffed in the inside fence there.
Oh yeah, that was a big boy hit for that 33, and right there, yep, flat hit, destroyed the suspension on that race car, and he could barely even get it out of the wall there. It was so broke. So I think that's going to be, you can see that. I mean, great for downforce, Ty, with having that rear spoiler kicked out like that, but I don't think it's going to handle too well at this track. So it's probably going to be donezo for that number 33. And if so, that would be our 3rd retirement of the race. He will join Nigel Stock and Dave Carpenter. However,
quick break here. We'll pay some more bills, and we'll be right back with you. The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the...
All right, welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway. We're working our fourth caution here just for a moment because we got green flag out. Once again, Corey Abbott on the outside, Noah Brown on the inside. And there we go. A clean start for those two into turns 1 and 2. And we got plenty of free wide action behind them. You can see right here from the behind camera of the 21, looking at the nose of 65 and company. So it's pretty much been these two all race so far, Abbott and Brown. And it's looking like it might be a race between those two, but don't look now. Gavin Higgins, we saw him win last week at one of the national events. He has made his way up. Oh, that's going to be a caution.
Jaden Seamus, Jacob Adams, Connor Thompson, the 46 to the 99.
A few of these drivers have been in just about every caution we've had tonight. Jacob Adams, he was at fault for the first one. I think this actually started ahead of them. Frank Fody got turned around by Whitner. 17.
Well,
we'll see,
I can't quite say that's on a Whitner either. That starts with
kind of Acosta involved a little bit too. So I think that was that might be just a situation of Bristol dirt being Bristol dirt. So I think we had about 4 cars all run into each other at that point and wreck themselves. Rashov Kosla, he kind of came up into Frank Fody, and that might have started everything because he knocked the 41 sideways, and it kind of was a chain reaction there, but on board here. On board here with Josh Osborne. We'll see what he saw here. And woo, sideways, he got hit by Frank Fody and saved it. So good little piece of driving from that number 07. Like he's starting to figure out some things here tonight in this Dev Series. So he's actually up to 17th place. I believe if he were to finish there, that'd be his best finish of the season.
Here's the talent turn backwards.
Yeah. Not even sure how he got involved there, but he was.
Good look at it here.
Logan P. Race control deeming that a racing incident, so receive fatality for that one.
Yeah, Harry was trying to get by it. Started to slide back down the racetrack. Logan had a run and was just there, so just unfortunate there. No bad damage there. But right as we were about to talk on Gavin Higgins, he's tied for the most wins this season with Caleb Pakumer, obviously winning Nashville Super Speedway last week, and then Phoenix the week before. So somebody who's got a lot of momentum, and I mean right now, we talk about him as a short track guy. This is technically a short track. Well, it's not the same because it's covered in dirt, but hey man, Gavin Higgins is somebody I don't think you can count out on any racetrack that we go to at this point with what we've seen from him.
Yeah. Not at all, and he's a little bit further on down the standings. He's not out of the chase by any means. He's actually in P10, so he would make our 14-man chase. But he's 45 points behind Caleb Pakumer right now, and doing exactly what he needs to do. Caleb Pakumer, relatively speaking tonight, struggling. I mean, he's back there in currently 8th, so not a bad run by any means. It's just not the top 3 that we have seen up to this point. But Gavin Higgins, we know he's a short tracker by nature and knows his way around these small half-mile type tracks, and it looks like he knows his way around them, whether they have asphalt or dirt on them. So, yeah, look for that number 20. I think we're gonna see him before the end of the race being a problem here for those top 2. But yeah, we'll see it here once again. We're gonna ride on board here with Harrison Talley. He was just in that wreck, and this is back from position number 24 on the restart. So. You can see what he sees, which isn't a lot. It's a lot of dirt, a lot of cars in front of him. So a lot of positions to be able to make up here if he can get his way around the traffic. But Harrison not having the best race as of yet. Looking under number 3 of Logan Key there.
We got a slide job for the lead. No Brown. Make it stick. These guys are throwing a caution to the wind right now.
Going to be hard to make that pass. We saw Noah, he almost had it completed, just did not have the space on the track to be able to do it just right there. And James Watson able to get around Gavin Higgins again for that position. So maybe some speed being found in that number 39. Back on a little bit further on back here. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Michael Higgins, Borges, and Javier all going at it. Maybe Gavin Higgins. Oh, we got a caution once again. It's like might have centered around. Oh, we have Shea Mitchell. Well, no, he has actually not been on track for a while. Connor Thompson is around there, and he's had a rough race tonight.
That's definitely broke something there on the 30 machine. He's not getting quite the throttle XL. Yeah, something's broke there. That's probably when he slid into the wall. It snapped something. It looks like.
Yeah, he's in the pits now, and I think that might be race over for the number 30, and maybe that'll be good for him because he's had one of those nights where you just kind of want to get on the bus back home or get on the plane and kind of just forget about it. So 50 laps in, we are at halfway. We're actually past halfway. We're at lap 54, so we missed that by a few laps here, but it's gone by pretty quickly, Ty. I'm honestly a little bit surprised. I thought we might have been here a little bit longer.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it too is these guys are learning, and obviously right now, we've had a little bit of a struggle here, but these guys are starting to figure it out, and I think as we get even further into this race, I think we'll probably have a pretty decent green flag run to end it. We talked about points a little early on. Somebody who's been up front all racing along, Noah Brown, he is 21st in points right now. I believe 14 is about where the chase, around the 14th position is where the chase is going to start. So somebody who's having a really good night, he needs one. Looking at that gap to the top 10, he's about 44 points off of Gavin Higgins. So he could take a pretty huge cut towards Gavin Higgins. He's obviously not going to cut too far into it with Gavin being right there, but somebody who needed a good run, and he's had a great one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's still time to make up those points. Gavin Higgins, he was about 30-something after our first couple races, but got his groove and got the car under him, started winning some races, and he's got himself back up into the top 10. So I think Noah, we've seen him in some other leagues here. We know he's a good driver. We know he's a great dirt driver. So I think, if anything, he's going to probably lay it all out here tonight to try to get that win. Because what better way to get up back in the points battle than to get back to the points of the day?
Absolutely.
We're back to top 10 here. Just Corey Abbott, Noah Brown, Paul, Michael Lapchick, James Watson, and Gavin Higgins. That's your top 5. Ryan Borges, Dylan Javier, Jimmy Hayden, Caleb Kumer, he's back tonight, and David Westerby running in the 10th position in that number 9 green, yellow, orange, and black machine that roughly center right of your screen right now. So your top 10, it's been your top 10 for a little bit. Not too much shuffling going on here in the top 10. Had a lot in the back because of wrecks and such there, but either way, we got another restart here. Working our 6th caution. Corey Abbott on the outside. Green flag once again. Great restart once again for that number 21. And 65 not going as well as he did last few restarts. He actually almost got hit from behind by that 39, but we got some 3 wide battling out of turn number 2. Michael Lapchick, Gavin Higgins on the bottom there. They were both looking at Noah Brown, but I think Noah Brown got himself right where he needs to be. Now fighting with that 21 once again. Gavin Higgins looking quick here on the bottom. Getting a little bit too sideways there, but got another caution here. That looks like Josh Osborne. Definitely involved. Not sure what caused it, but I think we might have spoke a little bit too soon, Ty. That car is not doing okay whatsoever. So some contact here with Rashad Khosla. Some more contact there with the number 48 of Adams, and that's going to be probably race over for that. That's a hard hit.
Yeah, and
probably pretty clearly going to be on the 07. He got all sorts of sideways and just into the side of that 54.
Yeah, smoke pouring out of the back of that thing. There's not going to be much he can do to get that thing taken care of, and it's going to be a race over, especially on a place like this where you're pushing. You need everything out of the engine you can get, and you're pushing the RPMs up there. not really anything Jacob Adams can do there. He's just trying to get by, and when a car gets stuck on your nose on dirt, there's not a whole lot that can happen other than turning him. So, unfortunate for him.
And we probably need to make a point here just a little bit that the brakes, stock cars aren't exactly known for having great brakes on asphalt. They work even less on dirt. So if something happens in front of you, you get on those binders, they're not necessarily going to work at all, really. Dirt cars really don't use a whole lot of brakes. You watch sprint cars, late models and such, they kind of whip the car around the track, not really braking like you see at an asphalt track. So the brake's not as important of an equation as you would say at like a Martinsville or even Bristol on the asphalt. So really it can cause more problems getting on them. You can spin the car around and get, wreck it that way, or it just won't slow down. So I think that's kind of what we saw with Adams, and like you said, Ty, not much he could do there. That's just part of the game. But Corey Abbott looking good out here tonight. He has led the most laps so far. I think it's been all him and Noah Brown really looking like the top two drivers. Gavin Higgins was up there, fell back a little bit, but he's gotten himself back up to the third position, past Paul Michalacik and James Watson. And we had a momentary black flag on the 41 of Frank Fody. No harm, no foul. That was cleared, so nothing he did wrong there. One to green here, so quickly approaching the end of this race. We got about 38 laps to go once we get going green here. And if we do go green, 38 laps at Bristol is about 10-15 minutes, so not even.
Yeah,
be a pretty quick one if we can get the green laps rolling here, but see what happens. There we go, pace truck in once again. Every restart has been from the high side. The leader's taking that line every single time. Here we are green once again. Corey Abbott with a good restart. Now it's a battle for second. Paul Bunchleiter's Michalacik and Noah Brown going at it. Noah Brown actually looking for the lead. And they are 3 wide out of turn number 2 just momentarily. Gavin Higgins looks like he's going to be a problem for the 65. Oh, we got some trouble in the back.
Looked like Frank Fody hard into the inside wall.
I think there was some contact there with one, but I don't believe that was on the one. Fody kind of cut across a little bit, and we have another front clip gone. Bristol area collectors of memorabilia are going to be happy about this one because all the pieces they can get right there, just hard into the inside. When you can see the radiator on the racetrack, if it's not a modified, well, you got put back on immediately, but we saw the radiator for just a second.
Yeah, and it's very similar to that Josh Osborne situation where this is a place where you can't really have those temps go up. You can't be pushing RPMs if you're about to blow, so probably going to be race pretty much over for Frank Fody unless they're able to do some significant damage repair.
Real quick, I want to say hi to our chatters. We got JTrams 13, and we got Zach Evans, and we got Ray Bracey. Some elite drivers in the chat looking at the action we've had tonight. Hopefully it's going good. We're at lap 65 now, so it's not going to be too much longer before we get the checkered flag, but I say that, and well, we're probably going to get some more cautions here. But 8th caution, we have exceeded our total of last week, 7 across 2 events. So I think we're well underway on that, hitting that 13.5 mark you talked about, Ty. So drivers are, maybe they have a bet out there tonight. Maybe it's like a DraftKings parlay for this.
Yeah, you know, I kind of was joking when I said that the over-under was going to be 13.5, and I said that more as a joke of like, hey guys, let's not make it this bad. But I feel like it was a challenge that was laid out, and I shouldn't have said anything. Yeah.
These drivers heard that number, and they were like, we're going to beat that, actually. So hopefully not. Hopefully we can clean it up a bit here. We don't have... We're going to have about, 34 to go, well, 33 probably once we get going here. So, yeah, we're clicking them down slowly but surely. And thankfully, the pace truck understands the assignment and turns the lights off for us.
one more quick shout out in chat, Mr. Zach Evans, the color commentary guy for himself and David Westergreen for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Tomorrow night they're going to have Twitter lap of Dover. I will unfortunately be racing. It's an interesting racetrack, so be sure to tune in there. Going to go live at about 8:30 tomorrow night. Mr. Dave
And
Huckleberry
in the chat too.
and Danny G. That's my teammate. Go Dogs!
I'll be spotting for that driver tomorrow night at Dover. 200 laps for me as well, and well, I'll be sitting on my butt having some time. Well, he's probably fighting the car in there. But green flag out once again. Good restart for Corey Abbott. It's Paul Michaelachik up here in the 77. He's been a thorn in the side of Noah Brown for every restart, but Noah on that inside line, gonna try to make something happen. Not gonna be that time. Just probably needs some laps, Ty. I think these cautions, these short cautions, short runs are not playing into Noah's strength right now. He needs a couple laps for that bottom side to wear in just a little bit and give him some speed. But Gavin Higgins on the bottom, he's trying to do it. He moves Noah up to the outside line.
Noah's
Watson going at it.
Not quite going to be able to do anything, but I think at this point we're getting to the spot where if Noah can get a good run off the top side of one of these corners and then get a really good slider thrown on that bottom side, he might be able to hold side by side with Corey Abbott.
Yep, and you can see it right there. He's running right. These drivers doing everything they can to avoid that. Oh, we have a big one out of turn number 2. Bodie Koshla, and I think someone else was involved there. Whitner decides to call it a night and towed back to the pits. And it's like Bodie there, Bryce Bodie. Just looks like he might have come down off of turn number 2 and swiped across the nose of that, I believe it was that 17 machine. Billis and here's Hausler having an issue there. I wonder if that's actually, well, no, the caution's already out. You can see the pit road lights there blinking as he spun out there, but definitely one of our bigger wrecks of the night. 3 cars, so we are getting down a little bit here. We are whittling the field down by just ever so slightly. We have 27 cars still remaining out of 34 that started.
See if we can maybe get one more quick ad in here. Go ahead and pay some bills for you guys. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Working our 9th caution of tonight's Bristol Dirt event, and we have 1 lap to green here before we get hopefully some more green flag running here. We're either going to get some green flag running or our 10th caution, so still remains to be seen. We'll go ahead and do a quick little re-rack of the top 10. Corey Abbott, Noah Brown, Gavin Higgins, Paul, a bunch of letters, Michaelachik, Jimmy Hayden 5th, Dylan Havere 6th, Ryan Borges 7th, James Watson 8th, Andrew Hardcastle 9th, and Caleb Cumer struggling to get much further than 10th right now. So that's where that number 59 runs. Remember, that was your points leader, and he had a point over Corey Abbott coming into this race. So Corey Abbott doing exactly what he needs to do to probably take that points lead away from the 59. Green flag out here once again, and it's yet another good restart for that outside line. It's like Corey is probably going to be taking it every time here on out, but here comes Noah Brown, the best run he's had all race. Had a nose in front of the 21. He's going to have to send it here into turn 3. We'll see what he can do, and he gets the move done. We'll see if Corey Abbott can make a crossover. He does here into turn number 1. He's going to slide it off in there and do a slide job back to the 65 here.
Ooh, it's gonna have a run back into the inside of the corner. Here we go.
It's going to be back and forth here probably for these two. Here comes Gavin Higgins to be a problem. Ooh, sideways, Noah Brown, some contact from the 21. Abbott, trouble. He's in the wall, and he's getting some contact from behind. Paul Michaelacik, that's stacked up from about 5th on back, and they're trying to figure it out. Jimmy Hayden has got a lot of positions. He's up to 3rd now.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was a whole lot going on there. It looked like Gavin started to put the pressure on the 21. Corey really didn't have anywhere to go. Gavin now starting to try to cut back into that gap that Noah Brown's building here with about 23 to go, 22 this time by here from Bristol.
I'm not sure that Corey Abbott would be happy with that move, but that was kind of just a dirt racing move. I don't think anyone did anything wrong there. So unfortunately, he's back to 5th place now. See these, oh, caution once again. There's our 10th caution. We were waiting for it. Looks like Harrison Talion might have been involved. Replay will tell all, though. And that's going to be the 41. He took a racing line that unfortunately went across the nose of the 3, so that will probably be on him. Looks like he just got it a little bit too yawed out there and kind of let it go across the track. Unfortunately, with the car there, you're going to get spun around, and unfortunately for Harris Talion, nothing he did wrong there. He's just kind of been a victim of circumstance a few times tonight, and yet another one for him.
Yeah, Harry's not really had the best luck, so just another night of adding on to that. Caution number 10, so we average about 8 laps per caution. That's if we ran green. We definitely have not, so hopefully these guys can get it sorted out. I know we just saw a pretty exciting little scuffle from there. Dylan Javier, pit road.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I'm not sure if tires matter that much here, or maybe he's trying to fix some damage. Looks like he just about overshot the pit, but they were able to get it in there. I think in real life that would be considered out of the box with the front end of that over the line, but iRacing not caring about it too much. And we're on a dirt track anyway, where pit stops aren't necessarily going to be the biggest issue here, but wouldn't assume these guys are bad on fuel or anything like that with the 10 cautions we've had. But obviously Dylan Javier, he found some reason to pit there, give up his top 10 position.
Nothing noticeable damage-wise on that 57.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting call. I'll have to maybe see if I can get a word why he did that. But anyway, he's going to be back to about the 21st, 22nd position, and with about 30 laps to go here, under 30 once we get going green here, probably around 27. That is a lot of time to be able to make up. So he's going to have his work cut out for him, but one of the things that we have seen tonight is lots of wrecks, lots of spins, and if there's any way to be able to do that, that sure is one way to do it. But yeah, Dylan Javier all the way back to 21st there. So let's re-rack the top 10 real quick. Done it a few times here, but Noah Brown, he's your leader now. Gavin Higgins in 2nd, Paul Michaelacik in 3rd. He's ran about there all race, so a great run for him. Jimmy Hayden up to 4th, Corey Abbott back to 5th, Ryan Borges 6th, James Watson 7th, Andrew Hardcastle 8th, David Westergreen 9th, and Caleb Pecumer. I think he's been 10th all race, so he might be just kind of content to ride there, get a good finish out of here, and maybe get back to the tracks that maybe he knows how to drive a little bit better. I sure would be like that. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, I'm a pavement princess, and I do not know how to drive these dirt tracks at all. So more power to the people that can. I love watching it. I have mad respect for the dirt drivers. I just don't know how to do it. Pace truck is off there. Noah Brown on the outside line. We've seen that. The leader take the outside line every single restart tonight. We'll see how it fares for him. Gavin Higgins on that bottom line. We'll see if Noah can get the run off turn 2. He sure will. Gavin's lit up 2 straight. And now the battle is going to be for about 4th on back. Ryan Borges has gotten up into that fight. He's going to be fighting with Paul Michaelacik. It's single file Noah Brown, Gavin Higgins, and Jimmy Hayden so far. Paul Michaelacik wants to add his name into the mix there, and I think right there he's going to slide that number 21. Corey Abbott trying to make some ground back up here. He was leading about 10 laps ago, no longer is. Probably wants to get back up there, but ooh, some contact there out of turn number 4. Tight quarters racing here. All clean, no harm, no foul. That's perfectly normal in dirt racing.
Watson, and I believe that's Hardcastle. making a little bit of contact there. He's going to shuffle out just fine. Top three all over each other right now. Jimmy Hayden back to the back bumper of Gavin Higgins. Oh, they're going to be side by side for a second. Higgins is going to get loose and have to cut back down to the bottom. It's going to give Noah Brown a little bit of breathing room.
Dylan Javier in the 57. He is somewhat flying right now, trying to make up his way past the number 1 of Jaden Racinas, the front clipless Jaden Racinas. We have another caution here. That's going to be our 11th of the night. Not seeing exactly what has happened just yet.
60 of
Oh,
Austin.
that's what happened. That's teammates. All right, that's not what you want to see, but Austin Abnett goes around off the front bumper of his teammate, 59 of Caleb Humer. See what happened here. I think Austin just got a little bit too yawed out there. Caleb was not expecting that or not anticipating that kind of a checkup from the 60, and around he sends his teammate. So going to be an interesting discussion after the race between those two.
I have a feeling it might be going on right this minute, to be honest with you. You know, just unfortunate situation.
I'm not really sure I can blame Caleb Humer on that too entirely much. He sure got in the back of the 60, but the 60 was a little bit compromised off the corner. I'm not sure how race control is going to view that, though. We'll let them make that decision. You know what? Why don't we go ahead and take one more break here before the end of the race.
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500 and Celebration of 66 Festival, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Welcome back to the Bristol Motor Speedway. This one has flown by in one way or another. We're working our 11th caution of the 91 completed laps. We're on lap 92, which means when we get going green here, we will have 8 laps to go before we get to the finish here. And, well, it's anyone's guess whether that will go green or not. I would probably put some money on it not, but either way, it's been a great fight between these two drivers up the front, Gavin Higgins and Noah Brown on the outside line in that number 65 red machine. Good restart for him. Leader has taken the outside line on every restart right now. We'll see if Gavin Higgins can slide it in there and do something about it. It's not been cut and dry. There we go. Have some contact there off turn number 2. Jimmy Hayden and Brian Borges, they just about wrecked, but I don't think they're done wrecking here yet either. Here comes Javier on the 2 tires. On the bottom of that, but we're kind of stacking up here out of turn number 4. I think that desperation is setting in for these drivers, and every position you can get is going to be extra points on. Oh, Hardcastle and Fody, there's no way that's not a caution right there. And yep, I saw that coming from a mile away. They got locked into each other, and the 80 was just pointed towards the inside wall. Looks like might be on Caleb Humer. Unfortunate for him. He was involved in the last one, not tallying for it. Might be aiming that one a little bit different there. Bryce Fody, the one who gets the worst out of that because he gets stuffed into the wall, but don't think anyone is really going to be too hurt out of that one. Here again, and Just 22 of
Yeah.
Hardcastle off the front end of the 59 there.
Carlos going to take a little bit of a longer look at it just to be sure. And well, we said 13 and a half as a joke. We're at 12 right now. 5 to go as we sit. About to go 4 to go here as we work through turns 1 and 2. So
We got trouble for the 21 of Corey Abbott. He fell back on the restart. Ooh, he got in the back of the 9 of David Westergreen. And well, he fell back before that too. He was actually running about the 5th position and had some issue, but he's now back to the 9th position. So not what he really wants to see, and he's got his points co-racer behind him. They were 1 point apart going into tonight's race with Humer in the lead and Corey Abbott 1 behind. So now Humer right behind Corey Abbott. I'm sure that he enjoyed leading this race quite a bit more in that regard, but still a little bit of time to make something happen. I say that, really not a whole lot of time to make anything happen. We're kind of approaching this race pretty quickly here.
yeah, we're going to be 3 to go as we roll through turns 3 and 4 here. Should be 1 to green as well. Look at Jaden Racimus. No front end on that number 1 Toyota. He sits 11th right now. Lots of shaking up about to happen right here.
Yeah, in real life, you wouldn't want that radiator hanging out like that, but either way, he's doing all right. Cooling, not a problem. iRacing, not going to pack a whole bunch of mud and dirt up into that radiator and make you blow up like it would in real life, but either way, doing well. Car's still running. That's really what matters here. We might see some aggression on this restart here with the 65. I think we kind of have a bit of a regulation green-white checkered here. Once we get going green, we'll have 2 laps to go. So pace truck lights are going to go off. Oh, there we go. Good restart for the 65 and Noah Brown. Gavin Higgins, not as good. He's going to be under fire from the 39 of Watson. Through 1 and 2. Noah Brown all the way up on the outside line. Gavin Higgins right there, side by side. He's going to be under fire from James Watson, though, into turn number 3. It's a slide from the 20 of Gavin Higgins. Can he make it? No,
there.
he can't.
It's
White
not
flag.
over yet.
Final lap here at Bristol Dirt. Here comes Higgins with the slide of a lifetime. He's not going to be able to quite do it here. I think these two are going to be racing for their life. They're wrecking in the back here, but it's going to be all between these two, Brown and Higgins. I think it's going to be all Brown out of turn number 4. His first win of the ARCA Series. Noah Brown does it here at Bristol Dirt.
I mean, Gavin Higgins. Oh, no, Paul Mikulicek with trouble. David Westergreen not happy on the radio. Oh, my goodness, Cale Pocock. Are you okay? Pete Morales flipping. Connor Thompson with the right front not connected on that thing. Marco Biles maybe knocked out at the wheel. He's driving all the way down the racetrack.
Huge wreck there right after the flag, but no harm, no foul. James Watson was able to get himself up to the 3rd spot. He got around Paul Mikulicek. Corey Abbott and Cabe Humer finished 1 spot apart there in 7th and 8th. Dominic Wright got back up to 9th, and Cale Pocock, we didn't see him all race just about, got himself a top 10. So Dylan Javier on those 2 fresh tires with about, 8 laps of green maybe after he pitted. He was able to get up to the 6th position. Good little drive for him, but you see Noah Brown doing his victory donuts here, and as you said, Ty, 21st in points coming into tonight, and probably, that might be the turnaround he needs.
I mean, you look at some guys who were right there next to each other. Corey Abbott, Caleb Humer, 1 point separated them, and I think they're going to maybe be tied for the points lead at this point. I'm not totally sure exactly how the points format works, but them finishing right next to each other is going to make that interesting. I mean, other guys who needed big nights, Paul Mikulicek, he's finished his top 5. Gavin Higgins, I think he might actually be a contender for the points lead here. He entered, nope, never mind. He was a little far back, but he's definitely going to jump up to that top 5 for sure.
Some trouble for David Westergreen there at the end. Something happened to him. He fell all the way back to the last car in the lead lap, 24th position. He was in the top 10 to start the final restart. So let me see if I can see what happened to him. And nope, our producer actually has it. So thank you, Chris. And it looks like this might have been a whole lap of wrecking right here. on board David Westergreen. He gets into Jimmy Hayden. Jimmy Hayden gets into the wall. He gets into Dylan Avere. Jimmy Hayden's knocking around to the side of Corey Abbott. David Westergreen's up in the wall again. Here comes Dominic Wright to end David Westergreen's life right there. And there they go, wrecking. Everybody passes him. David Westergreen, just for put the cherry on top, he gets spun around there at the very end. And that's what put him, unfortunately, back to the 24th position. So, wow, what a rough last lap for that number 9. Hard luck for him because he ran in the top 10 just about all race. He did not have anything to show that. Jacob Adams here and Cale Pocock. These two passed a whole bunch of cars on the last lap. Cale Pocock, he was your 10th place finisher. I think he started the last lap in about 20th place. And see right there, Jaden Racimus got turned. He finished 11th. Jacob Adams 12th. So yeah, both of those drivers just really making a lot of use of that last lap carnage there. Jimmy Hayden, tough break for him too. He was in the top 5 and comes home with a 16th place finish for himself. So interesting. That was a great race. Lots of action, lots of cautions. I think we just hit your... Did we actually hit 13? I can't really remember. I think we were just, well, so right at the under there. But let's go ahead and get a quick break in, and then we'll get your top 3 finishers up for some interviews.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to Bristol Motor Speedway. We just wrapped up the Bristol Dirt 100. I'm standing by with our 3rd place finisher, Mr. James Watson. James, it was a very interesting situation there for you. I know you were up and down all night in that top 5. You were able to fight back and maintain 3rd, and you kind of had a front row seat to the squabble of the century there between Higgins and Brown. Walk us through your night, buddy.
Yeah, it was just a crazy race. This was definitely one I had circled. Well, I didn't find out it was Bristol Dirt until like last week, but I already had it circled on the schedule regardless. It definitely was more interesting to me as a dirt track because I 3rd generation dirt track driver, so I got a lot of genetics helping me out here. But it's also the most stressful race of the schedule because of that, because it's like, oh god, I have to at least bring home some sort of good finish so I don't let Pops and the family down. And happy to finally get a I think this is my first top 10 of the season, let alone top 5, let alone top 3. It's pretty much been a Murphy's Law season for me. So was able to catch a lot of breaks this time around. Some of the contact with some of the cars around me, able to pick off a few spots because of that. And I was so pumped when that last caution came out because I knew that I was going to be on the outside. I knew if I at least had a halfway decent restart, I was going to end up at least P3. So things really came together how I needed it to right there. I knew I wasn't going to have anything for Noah or Gavin unless something drastic happened, just because, Noah was very, very quick and had the top, and Gavin was able to make the inside work way better than I could hope to. So getting to P3 was kind of the my ceiling, so I'm happy to end up with that.
Well, I know you're saying that this has been a pretty rough season for you, and I think even being a South Shore driver, I think that the whole South Shore group, really, other than Bojo winning at Daytona in the trucks, I feel like it's kind of been that way for us, and I'm hoping this is the turnaround for you. Looking at it, I don't know exactly where you are in points, but I know you're not inside the top 20. I know at this point you're probably not looking to try to fight for the chase. I know you want to, but logically, I think we have 2 races left now. Are you just kind of headhunting for wins at this point?
I'm gonna see what I can pull off. I think I was 20 points out of a spot coming into this, and I think just getting third. And I don't know who I was around, but I'm fairly certain at least few of the cars that I was essentially battling didn't have the best of nights. So knock on wood, this puts me in a much better position, but yeah, it's still gonna be tough. I have a pretty big mountain to climb, and oh god, yeah, Talladega's next week. Oh dear.
Well, I have good news for you. I was wrong. I took notes and everything, and I did not read them. You are actually 19th in points, so you're there. You're not that far out as I thought I was, so I didn't mean to put a damper on your spirits. But you talk about Talladega. I know that's something that you and your teammate David Westergreen are very good at plate racing, and obviously I think having some good friends out there to work with. I know you didn't sound excited. Is that something you're maybe looking forward to, at least on the results side, if everything falls your way luck-wise?
Well, I mean, that's the thing is Talladega is so much luck, and already, as you saw, my luck at Daytona wasn't all that good. So, it's still nerve-wracking looking at it because my luck, again, this season hasn't been all that great outside of tonight. So, and I can't afford another bad finish or DNF next week. Otherwise, what little hope I have is completely and utterly gone. So, a lot that's out of my control going into next week, which makes it scary, but got no choice but to plow on and hope for the best at this point.
Buddy, well, before we let you go celebrate, anybody want to shout out?
Sir, I gotta thank everyone at Team Watson Racing Setups. Use code WATSPIN39 for 10% off at checkout. I gotta thank National Racing Network, Binks Designs, Inside Lane Productions, Icon Sim Racing Apparel, ZAS Designs, and Dizzy V Designs for putting together my paint schemes, and my folks for watching at home.
Hi, buddy. Well, we're going to let you celebrate. Hopefully, we get to hear from you again at Talladega, and obviously in good ways, not the bad ones.
Here's hoping. Cheers, guys.
That was James Watson, your third place finisher, and I believe Mr. Cameron Rich is going to be standing by with Gavin Higgins.
I got him right here. Gavin, this is Cam Rich, and you got a copy?
Yep.
All right, man. Well, it was a 2-car race between the 65 and the 21 there, and then it became a 3-car race with you involved. Made a hard charge up from the 14th place starting position, and threw some sexy sliders on the 65 there at the end, and he was just able to get by you with those cautions. But tell us about your night.
Yeah, it sucks. I only had about 5 minutes of practice. I didn't really get to feel out the car, and I wish I didn't take me so long to pick up that I could go full throttle coming off the corners. So I thought it was all about throttle control. But after I figured out I can go full throttle coming off the corner, I was actually pretty confident about all the moves I was making. Then it got really scary when we were going through those lap cars. I think it was close to halfway through the race, and I was terrified. But it was great racing with Noah. I didn't want to be too aggressive with the sliders. I might have been able to clear up on him, but I didn't want to take out both of us.
Yeah, looked like the high line was the place to be tonight. Noah was using the low side a little bit there. You went low on the restarts there. Did you feel like there was a preferred groove with the way the track wore in tonight?
Yeah, it was probably definitely top, at least on restarts. I mean, I kind of was making the bottom work. I figured that out about halfway through the race. But no, I would probably preferably want to restart on the top. I mean, that was dominant line on restarts the whole night.
And with a really slow start to your season, you've been the hottest driver in the series since race number 4, just about, or race 3 or so. So we got Talladega next week, which is the ultimate thing to throw everything off. But what is your strategy next week to make sure that you continue this momentum going forward?
Probably just survive. I probably have a pretty good points cushion to the cutoff line, so I'll probably just relax and pray to make it to the end.
That's always a good strategy, I'd say. But you're doing good out there, having top 5s here and there, leading laps, doing everything you need to do, and been very consistent with it. But before we let you go, any shout outs or sponsors for you?
No sponsor. Shout out to all you guys doing this. Chad for putting on the league, and my mom, dad, brother, sister, my grandparents, and neighbor Pete.
Got to get neighbor Pete in there. Well, appreciate you talking to us, Gavin. Hottest driver in the series right now with yet another top 5. Gained points on everybody except for Noah Brown tonight, so that's going to be a plus in your season. But appreciate you talking to us, and hope to be talking to you next week. Not in the infield care center.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, that Ty's going to go ahead and get with Noah.
No, buddy, it's Ty at the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Well, first pole of the season tonight, and obviously first win of the season. I know you were not doing too bad in the points, and I think this is going to really turn some things around for you. So, I know you probably love that battle there with Gavin, and I'm sure you're also loving being in victory lane for the first time this season. But go ahead and walk us through your race, buddy.
I mean, I don't want to say it was pretty standard. This is very non-standard considering it was on dirt, but I mean, it was just minding your P's and Q's. Losing the position to Corey, not too far off the start, kind of hindered me a little bit. Obviously, racing from behind is a little bit more difficult than keeping control of the field, but it was just all about managing position, not trying to get too far away from Corey, taking opportunities where it was acceptable, and just trying to keep him really within arm's reach. Eventually, I got past him in traffic off a restart, so that worked to my favor, and it's unfortunate how we fell back. But it was really just trying to keep the tires under me, really. I mean, not much more you can do at a track like this.
I know it obviously didn't really amount to too much, but Dylan Javier made a late call and pitted and went all the way back to, I believe it was 21st or 27th, and then drove his way all the way back up to 6th. Were tires something that you were even debating, or was it something that you weren't really sure if it was even going to do anything?
My mentality on it tonight was, if I'm not wrecked, I'm not going to do anything with the car. And that's how it was. So if we had maybe 20 more laps, or we had a longer green flag run after Gavin, or not Gavin, sorry, Dylan Javier took tires. If we had a longer green flag run, I think he would have been definitely more of a threat. And I think being off strategy is definitely something you can work with. So it was a fleeting thought, but it was just really about keeping track position.
Talked about your point standings and trying to get your way into the chase. Obviously, Talladega next week. Not saying that it's been really problematic, but you've definitely had, at least at Phoenix last week, or 2 weeks ago, sorry, a couple moments with a couple guys. I know you're obviously a solo entry for Redux, but how do you feel going into Talladega knowing that you have to kind of, you have to race for points, and you can't really lang at the back. Do you feel like you might have earned some respect tonight, and maybe some guys that might work with you next week?
Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know if I necessarily gained anything, but I think if I just keep the car in one piece at Talladega, I'm gonna earn some decent points just with the people that I am running with. So it's not how do I put the words? I'm not terribly concerned about it, but also I know that the points is a big thing. So I'm just gonna try to keep with the people that I know can run, and really just go from there. Hopefully I have a better run than typical for me, but we'll definitely see how it goes.
All right, buddy. Well, before we let you go, anybody want to shout out before we let you head out of here?
Shout out to the rest of my team that isn't racing tonight. And shout out to the sponsors on the car, which I don't know who I'll put on this car because I made this scheme. I know 3 Wide is on there, so shout out 3 Wide TV for being a sponsor of the team. Shout out to Nick Packin Designs doing some of our paint schemes. And shout out to Burning Rubber Podcast for being a supporter and putting some of our social media stuff on blast.
All right, buddy. Well, we will let you get on out of here, and I look forward to having some celebratory drinks with you this weekend.
Yep, thank you.
That was Noah Brown, your race winner. Cam, that was a hell of a way to wrap that one up. I think that was probably about as exciting of a finish as we could get. Some side-by-side action there with 2 to go, and ultimately, I think a really deserving winner.
Yeah, we had everything tonight. We had a lot of contact. We had a lot of drama. We had some tempers flaring. We had sliders. We had, lots of everything here tonight. Just what you'd expect from a dirt track. Just what you'd expect from Bristol. And always glad to see. So that's 8 different pole winners and 6 different winners in our series so far. It's definitely looking to be, well, not looking to be. It has been competitive. So definitely have no reason to believe we're not going to see somewhat of the same next week at Talladega. We've already talked about that one. That is a week from today. And then we have a 2-week break to Rockingham, where we will set our 14-car grid for the chase for the championship. It's going to be 5 races to determine our ARCA Series champion for 2026. And I'm really looking forward to that. We got some really good tracks in the chase, and I think it's probably going to be some of our best races of the season. But yeah, no more dirt for the rest of the season. Some people probably like that. Some people probably don't, but I'd say that we had a pretty successful one here. But we're going to go ahead and sign off for you guys. That's from myself, Cameron Rich, from Ty Mc Intosh, from Chris Wright. You guys have a great night.